Ladies and gentlemen, WWE 2K26 is almost here, and nonetheless, we still have not gotten any information from 2K themselves on this game yet, and maybe I'm a little bit spoiled because they decided to reveal the game so early in January last year, but I am super excited to see what we're going to get this year and how they're going to go on ahead and do the marketing, because the marketing is always something that I look forward for because they always seem to find ways to tease certain things, and it's just an exciting time before the game comes out. So I'm definitely excited to go on ahead and get into that. But before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We are giving away some copies of WWE 2K26 to some lucky subscribers, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Let's go on ahead and get into this video. In 2025, there were some rumors and reports that PlayStation will be phasing out the PlayStation 4 from legacy services, and that right there was interesting, and that's supposed to start in spring of 2026. So it's January. We're like 3-4 months away from that, but I'll tell you what comes out 2 months away, and that's WWE 2K26. Just based on history over the last couple of years, it's been here in March. Is it possible that we are going to see 2K26 finally break the shackles of last generation consoles and move forward from that and finally get a product that ends up looking better in terms of realism and just graphics compared to what we've already seen the last couple of years? And I don't mean that like the game looks bad, the game looks great. But when you look at the Xbox One version and the Xbox Series X version, vice versa, PS5, PS4 version, they look very similar for the exception of a couple different things that are involved in the gameplay. So that's what I mean more so, just a more visually appealing game, maybe the refresh in graphics that so many people are hopeful for, because we've been getting the same atmosphere and the same sort of look over the last couple years. And honestly, I chalk that up to the last generation consoles, because I feel that there may just not be enough to get certain things done. Lionel Jinx already said it in a report before that was highlighted on this channel, where again, last gen is cutting into resources, and that's part of the reason why they can't do certain things. Now, people have brought up the idea of, okay, maybe they just get rid of the PlayStation version and still give us an Xbox One version. I don't even think that's a possibility. I don't think they do a game for Xbox and keep PlayStation out the loop. I think the one thing that would make sense here is to completely cut out last generation consoles and move forward and find, you know, just the peace in that, because there's already been so many rumors about new consoles and things like of that nature coming out in 2028, and we are in 2026, and I'm sure that it'll be pushed back because, man, they going crazy for the RAM right now. But again, we're talking about a PlayStation 6 console and a new Xbox console, whatever's gonna happen with the Xbox, because that we don't know neither. But the PlayStation 6 console, let's just go on ahead and talk about that real quick. They're talking about that this console is coming out in about 2 years, and WWE 2K nor NBA 2K still hasn't let go of last generation consoles when it comes to their games. Now, I understand that there may be some money to be made, right? There's a lot of things that go into it that maybe we don't know the logistics of, but I think that when looking at the game and the way the game has been, and even some of the things that have been brought up by developers, it seems like last gen is cutting into resources and doing maybe even more bad than good, because if they can pull those resources that they're using on the last generation version and combine them with what we're getting on the current generation version, we may just have a better product on our hands. And honestly, I think we're due. These consoles are about 5 years old already, and we still don't have a current generation only game. And I love to point out Madden, because even though Madden isn't the greatest game, it has a lot of its flaws, and it's just not the most perfect game. Trust me, I play it a lot, but you can tell graphically that the game has improved because it was a current gen only game. And every time that we see the fiscal for the last couple years, whenever it shows WWE 2K, it just says to be announced on the console section, but every other game shows the consoles, but WWE 2K doesn't. So we're still in the dark when it comes to knowing if this game is coming out on last generation consoles as well. But just looking at these reports with the PlayStation stuff and all that good stuff, it almost makes it seem like we are this close to just getting rid of the shackles of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I want to be able to see a more graphically appealing game. And again, it's not that it looks bad, but we know the hair could look so much better. That's been one of people's biggest concerns and complaints over the last couple of years, hair. And even though some of it looks pretty good, there is some hair that doesn't look as good either. So there is so many things that they can do as well. And even if you look at the Call of Duty version of Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley when they came out over a year ago, and we were sitting here comparing models and all that good stuff, the models over there look really good as well. And some people may argue it could just be the engine that WWE 2K is using. We know that the budget compared to an NBA 2K, that budget is probably, not as big as NBA 2K. And we know that NBA 2K also looks like a beautiful game. And you can noticeably notice the difference between NBA 2K26 on current and last generation. I mean, they both even play different. It's like they have two different teams doing both games, which again, that's another possibility as to why WWE 2K, when you play it, it doesn't feel as a completely different game when you play current gen and last generation. And I can sit here and talk about both consoles and how I feel that it could be holding them back. There's a lot, right, that goes into it. And I'm not no game developer, but at the end of the day, I just want the best absolute product that we can get. We have bugs, we have glitches that happen post-release with different patches and things like that. I'm not sure how much of a last generation game affects that or whatever the case may be, but if we can just have the full attention focused and geared towards just a current generation console, I think that works in the end, in my opinion. At the end of the day, I want the limitations to be taken from where they're at now to just go to the sky. I would love to see what a wrestling game looks like with no limitations onto it, using the most resources that you can possible. Now that we have this engine that they feel or seem to feel like that it's the formula, right? Because this gameplay, these mechanics, we've been getting these since 2K22, and all they have done is continuously build and build and build onto this engine and these mechanics and what the game plays like. So if we get all those resources put into this game, we may just be having a different conversation about how we feel about the game, and maybe there wouldn't be things that go wrong at times that may just not go wrong anymore. And it's really just a subjective opinion whether you feel that it's being held back or not. At the end of the day, we don't know, and we're not gonna know till we actually get our hands on a current gen only game. Over the last couple years, the core gameplay has felt very, very similar. And I think that it's time to breathe in more life into those core mechanics and make us feel like we're playing something different. And I think that's probably going to be the more exciting part of whenever they decide to weed out those consoles, what we could possibly get after it's all said and done. Let me know down below how you guys feel about this news. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to stay tuned for the next one. I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.